Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Arctic news. Climate plan or about or frequently asked questions or threat or extinct or feedback or action or policies or feedbates or debate or contact or more. Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Antarctic Sea Ice Area reaches record daily low. Antarctic Sea Ice Area remained at a record daily low on October 24th, 2025, following a record daily low on October 23rd, 2025. Antarctic Sea Ice Area was 12.4 billion km2 on October 24th, 2025, a deviation from 1981 to 2010 of minus 3.57s, as illustrated by the image below. The above image also shows that Antarctic sea ice reached a record low area of 1.09 million km2 on February 24th, 2023, close to a blue ocean event and corresponding with a deviation of minus 2.86s. That is smaller than the deviation of minus 3.57s reached recently on October 23rd, 2025. Low sea ice means that less sunlight gets reflected back into space and instead gets absorbed by the sea surface, resulting in high sea surface temperatures. Currently, sea ice is low at both poles. Low global sea ice over the coming months spells bad news for Antarctic sea ice, which typically reaches its minimum in February. The image below shows that the standard deviation from 1981 to 2010 of the global sea ice extent was minus 6.76s on October 29, 2025. Low sea ice and polar amplification of the temperature rise contribute to high air temperatures at both poles. The image below shows the September 2025 temperature anomaly compared to 1951 to 1980 from earlier posts. The low sea ice and the high temperatures are even more remarkable given the absence of El Niño conditions. Click on images to enlarge. Little sunlight is yet reaching the South Pole at this time of year. While temperatures over Antarctica are still well below 0°C, they are rising fast. Antarctic temperature anomalies were high in September 2025, see the above image, and in October 2025, see the image below. The image on the right, adapted from NOAA, shows the ENSO outlook CFSV2 ensemble mean black dashed line favors La Nina persisting into the early northern hemisphere winter 2025-26. Image from earlier post. The image on the right, adapted from ECMWF, shows the ENSO anomaly and forecast for developments in 903.4 through August 2026, indicating that the next El Niño will emerge and grow in strength in the course of 2026. A record high daily temperature over Antarctica was reached on October 25, 2025, corresponding with a temperature anomaly of 4.89 degrees Celsius versus 1979 to 2000, as illustrated by the image below. The inset on the image below shows high temperature anomalies at both poles versus 1991 to 2020 on October 25, 2025. The high temperature anomalies at both the poles on October 25, 2025 are also illustrated by the image below. High temperatures come with jet stream distortion on October 25, 2025, as illustrated by the image below that shows the jet stream at 500 hours PA moving deep over Antarctica. This came with high precipitable water anomalies over Antarctica, as illustrated by the image below. This came with snowfall over Antarctica, as illustrated by the image below. The danger has been discussed in earlier posts such as this one. The increased snowfall thickens the snow on Antarctica, with only little fresh water returning to the ocean. As a result, the southern ocean surface is getting more salty, and as also discussed in an earlier post, saltier surface waters sink more readily, allowing heat from the deep to rise, which can melt Antarctic sea ice from below even during winter, making it harder for ice to reform. This vertical circulation also draws up more salt from deeper layers, reinforcing the cycle. Leads to a loss of sea ice, and thus loss of albedo and latent heat buffer, as well as less heat getting transferred from the atmosphere into the Southern Ocean, while more heat can be transferred from the Southern Ocean to the atmosphere. Arctic sea ice volume. Meanwhile, Arctic sea ice volume remains at a record daily low, as it has been for more than a year. The image below shows Arctic sea ice volume through October 31st, 2025. Global temperature anomalies have been rising over the past few months and reached a record daily high of 15.04 degrees Celsius, an anomaly of 0.93 degrees Celsius versus 1,991 to 2020 on October 25th, 2025, as illustrated by the image below. The following day, on October 26, 2025, the temperature reached another daily high. The image below shows temperature anomalies in red from January 1st, 2023 through October 26, 2025, with a nonlinear polynomial trend added in blue. Note that the anomalies on the above images are calculated from 1991 to 2020. When calculated from pre-industrial, the anomalies will be much higher, as discussed in earlier posts such as this one. The situation is dire. An Antarctic blue ocean event, sea ice approaching a low of 1 million km2, threatens to occur in February 2026, triggering an Arctic blue ocean event later in 2026, as the next El Nino is strengthening, which comes with a huge danger of massive amounts of methane erupting from the seafloor. The methane danger. The methane danger is illustrated by the image below, adapted from an image issued by NOAA, October 29, 2025, showing hourly methane averages recorded at the Baroatmospheric Baseline Observatory BRW, a NOAA facility located near Utqiagvik, formerly Barrow, Alaska, at 71.32 degrees north. Danger assessment. A state of emergency is typically declared after a disaster hits a specific area. The idea is that repairs or replacement of buildings, equipment, and infrastructure can quickly restore the situation to what it previously was. Insurance companies have traditionally determined premiums for insurance policies by calculating the risk of events by their severity and probability. However, extreme weather events can increasingly be expected to occur more frequently, and important considerations are the intensity and severity at which one specific place gets hit by an event, as well as ubiquity and imminence of such events. As temperatures rise, more extreme weather events can be expected to occur with greater intensity more frequently over larger areas with longer duration, and to become more ubiquitous and follow each other up with increasing, if not accelerating, rapidity. As the likeliness of a huge and accelerating temperature rise, the severity of its impact, and the ubiquity and the imminence with which it will strike all become more manifest, the more sobering it is to realize that a mere 3°C rise may suffice to cause human extinction. Climate Emergency Declaration UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres recently spoke about the need for a credible global response plan to get us on track regarding the international goal of limiting the global temperature rise. The science demands action, the law commands it, Guterres said, in reference to a recent International Court of Justice ruling. The economics compel it, and people are calling for it. What could be added is that the situation is dire and unacceptably dangerous, and the precautionary principle necessitates rapid, comprehensive, and effective action to reduce the damage and to improve the outlook where needed, in combination with a climate emergency declaration, as described in posts such as this 2022 post and this one, and as discussed in the Climate Plan Group. Links: Kevin Pluck, Sea Ice Visuals GPS, seas.visuals.earth and Climate Reanalyzer, www.climatereanalyzer.org, Danish Meteorological Institute. Arctic Sea Ice Thickness and Volume, https://ocean.dmi